If they ain't cooking, I don't want it.
What is up, everybody? It is your boy DT with another episode of the Cincinnati Podcast. Thank you for everybody who has been tuning in, sharing likes, sharing the channel with friends, family, also keeping up with the Command Time Podcast as well on this channel. Me and Caleb just did an episode recently recapping the Washington Commanders schedule. Yes, this is a all NFL podcast, plus predominantly also doing Washington Commanders content as well. But as you can see, the title of this episode is Top 20 Games of 2025. So I definitely had a lot of games to pick and choose from. Obviously, there are the big marquee games this season, but I'm not gonna lie, I had to do a lot of takes last night, double takes, of trying to see which games should go up here in my top 20 because there were so many games that very much intrigued me. But I made a list, and if there is a game that I am missing, what I want you guys to do is comment a game that you feel like needs to be more spotlight on. It could be a team that I didn't even put up here at all. Um, could be a team that that I'm sleeping on. You know what I'm saying? So if you feel like this list I didn't mention a team or something or a game that I completely missed, just put it in the comment section, and then I'll definitely highlight it. I'll respond to anyone that puts a game in the comment section. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So here are my top 20 anticipated games to watch in 2025. The first one, we have the Buccaneers playing the Philadelphia Eagles week 4 at 1 o'clock. So for those who have kept up with um the recent series between the Eagles and the Bucks has really had the Eagles numbers, I would say, in the regular season and in the postseason. I think there's only one time where the Eagles had came on top. It was on the Monday night game. Um but when you're talking about early in the season of last year, the Eagles were still trying to find their way as a football team, and the Bucks just completely steamrolled them. So this looking like to be a little payback for this Philadelphia Eagles team, defending world champs, taking on the Buccaneers. Next game, we have the Bucks again, but this time they will be playing the Los Angeles Rams. Week 12, 8:20 kickoff. So this is a night game. Two potent offenses going against each other. Matthew Stafford versus Baker Mayfield. Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams against Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and Emeka Ibuka and that receiving core. So this is a game where you're going to be expecting some type of points, but also expect some defense as well. Both of these teams have solid defensive units. Clearly, you saw with the Rams, they were in the NFC divisional round, and they were a couple snaps away from being in the NFC championship. So you're talking about a young team, especially with that defensive talent on that side of the ball, but don't sleep on the Buccaneers. They're always producing a great defense as well. So that is going to be a week 12 kickoff, 8:20. So definitely going to be staying up late for that one because I expect some fireworks. Now, this has a little bit of intrigue for this matchup. So I got week 18. I have the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Week 2 on Sunday Night Football, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, why this game? Because very clearly, you have the 8th overall pick in Michael Penix, who will be the full-time starter for the Falcons, competing with the new full-time starter, expected starter, which is J.J. McCarthy, who was the 10th overall pick of last year's draft. So you got two quarterbacks from last year's draft going up against each other. Gonna be interested to see. This is really the biggest game that we'll see in J.J. McCarthy. Um, Outside preseason and of course week one. So Atlanta, they were a couple of steps away once again of getting into the playoffs. The Vikings were in the playoffs, but they got mollywopped against the Rams that I just mentioned a while ago. So the Atlanta Falcons and the Vikings, week two early matchup, definitely something to watch right there. And of course, we got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, um, to go up against Atlanta revamped defense with the pass rush. You get Jalen Walker and you get James Pierce on the opposite side. Can this Atlanta defense be the defense where they can finally get to the quarterback consistently and wreak havoc? So we'll see with that matchup. Week 17, we have the Falcons again taking on my Washington Commanders. Week 4 of the season at 1 o'clock. Jaden Daniels versus Michael Penix, part 2. This time, the Commanders will be on the road in Atlanta Stadium. Last year, we played Atlanta down to the wire, took it to overtime, but Jaden Daniels, with the magical season, he walked them down and got the game-winning touchdown. So left a bad taste for the Atlanta Falcons in their mouth, and I'm expecting vengeance for them. I'm expecting them to relive that memory, and it's going to be a very fun game. High scoring game, I would say. Hopefully, Commanders defense has improved enough with some of the additions we have made when we play Atlanta. Atlanta also made additions, like I said earlier, with their defense. And you get Bijan Robinson, Drake London, just to name a couple of guys with the Atlanta offense. So you get Jada Daniels versus Michael Penix, part 2. Number 16, we have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Buffalo Bills, Week 17, 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, this game we have seen probably in 2023 where Jalen Hurts was in overtime and he walked his team to victory against Josh Allen. Now they are the defending Super Bowl champs taking on last year's MVP winner in Josh Allen. And this is a crucial game for a lot of people that needs to understand because this is week 17. This is a week before a divisional game against the Commanders. So when you're talking about tight division races, the East has always had a tight division race. So when you're talking about Eagles, defending champs, on the road, playing at Buffalo, such a raucous crowd, and playing against the Bills, who are one of the top hierarchies of the AFC, definitely a game to keep your eye on. At number 15, I have the Detroit Lions taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, Week 11, 8:20 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Now, this was, for a lot of people, this was their dream NFC Championship matchup. Unfortunately, the Commanders knocked that out of the way with the Lions. Lions should be what everybody wants, should be way better than last year, especially with health on their side. Taking on the defending world champs. Highly talented offense against that aggressive and most stout Philadelphia Eagles defense. So at number 15, I have the Lions taking on the Eagles. Week 11, 8:20 p.m. Eastern. At number 14, I have the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Week 3 at 1 p.m. So the intrigue of this game it'll be J.J. McCarthy's third start. He's going up against one of the top quarterbacks in the league, and Joe Burrow. And then he has Jamar Chase on his side. And then you also have J.J. McCarthy when he has Justin Jefferson. So you got 3 LSU teammates from that historical LSU National Championship team on the same field playing against each other. Minnesota has improved their defense, especially at the interior defensive line and interior offensive line, to play against Cincinnati. Cincinnati has some questions on their defense. Will they be able to stop this Minnesota Vikings offense? We will find out week 3 of the 2025 season. Now, at 13, I know this game will probably be a little bit higher for some people. A lot of this is not really in order. I should have should have said that at the beginning. But number 13, I have the Bengals versus the Ravens. They play each other week 13 and week 15. Week 13, it will be the primetime matchup on Thanksgiving Day. And then week 15 will be a 1 p.m. kickoff. These two teams played last year, Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. Like, let's just cut to the chase. It was a shootout when both of these teams played against each other. The Ravens have won both games, but you saw the MVP caliber play of both quarterbacks. It was a light show. Jamar Chase was going off. The tight ends for the not Philadelphia Eagles, but the tight ends for the Ravens were going off. This game was very exciting, and you get that twice a year this year with the Bengals and the Ravens playing week 13 and week 15. Number 12, I have the Washington Commanders taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, this is a personal favorite matchup of mine. Commanders are going to be on the road in Kansas City taking on Patrick Mahomes and crew. Jaden Daniels versus Patrick Mahomes is definitely going to be the huge and biggest story of when this game comes out on Monday Night Football. So Monday Night Football, you get Week 8, Kansas City Chiefs versus the Washington Commanders. All right, at number 11, I have the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Commanders, Week 7 and Week 17 of this year. Now, Week 7, we played them at 4:25 p.m. Eastern. That was the first meeting at Jerry's World. Hopefully, we wear the burgundy and gold pants in Jerry's World. But Week 17 has a lot of significance because, one, it is late in the season in the divisional race, but also these two teams play on Christmas Day. So this will be one of the 3 matchups on Netflix at 1 p.m. You have the Washington Commanders taking on the Dallas Cowboys on Christmas Day. So after you're done wrapping your gifts, you need to get your mind right, Commanders fans and Cowboys fans, because somebody's going to be going home a sore loser when that game is airing on Netflix. All right, we're about to hit to the final round of the top 20 games. At 10, I have the 49ers versus the Rams. Week 5 and Week 10. So Week 5, that will be a Thursday night matchup, and Week 10 will be a 4:25 matchup. Look, the 49ers last year were decimated by injuries. They were not the same team and stuff. Brandon Ayuk got hurt. They traded away Debo. Defensive players had left the team. It's a brand new looking 49ers football team. And of course, just we found out in the news the other day that they just paid Brock Purdy, and got his contract rounded up. You're playing a Rams team that was a couple of steps away from being in the NFC championship game. So the 49ers will be playing this team twice in LA and in San Francisco. So when it comes to division round in the NFC West, at one time it's one of the toughest divisions. I'm kind of questioning it a little bit, especially with some of the makeover in that division right there. But the Rams looking to be one of the best teams on paper, but I'm pretty sure the 49ers got a lot to say about that. At number 9, I have the Ravens versus the Chiefs, Week 4, 4:25 p.m. kickoff. Look, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, they playing it once again. This is also Week 4, so a lot of these games early in the year, they're going to get some crazy matchups. So Ravens versus Chiefs, we already know how that was. Ravens were literally a pinky toe away from beating the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead Week 1 of the 2024 kickoff season. So is there any time to get back? You're gonna have to get that back in blood now. And the Ravens have to get over the hump against Kansas City, not only in the regular season, but in the playoffs as well. In the playoffs as well, like that, those games really matter. And when I'm talking about these quarterbacks, um, if you have great success in the National Football League in the regular season, I'm not judging you on the regular season. I'm judging you on the postseason because that's what matters the most. The next game out we have at number 8, we have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. So, of course, obviously, Washington, before their name had completely changed, the old classic Indian Cowboy rivalry on Thanksgiving. It was one of my favorite things to watch. But now you're getting that with Kansas City Chiefs, who are a lot of people are going to be claiming as America's team. I would say these two teams also have history. The Kansas City franchise was also known as the Dallas Texans. Franchise when before the Dallas Cowboys became official. So you get Patrick Mahomes playing his very first game in A&T Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, national TV against everyone. So Kansas City Chiefs versus Dallas Cowboys at number 8 at one of my top matchups. Number 7, I have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Green Bay Packers Week 17. Lamar Jackson's first trip to Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers. Lamar Jackson versus Jordan Love. That Packers defense against that Ravens offense. That Ravens defense against that Packers offense. That is going to be a great game. It's going to be very cold as well. So this was a game I really thought about. I was like, wow, imagine Lamar Jackson running on the field in Lambeau Field. And we'll get that prayerfully week 17 of this year. All right, number 6, I have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills, week 9, 4:25 p.m. kickoff. All right, Chiefs, Bills, Mahomes, Allen, they have played consistently. Bills have gotten them better of the Chiefs in the regular season. But like I just said earlier, it's the postseason that matters. Kansas City has been a thorn to the Bills side and getting into a Super Bowl. So you get this matchup once again with on CBS. We all know this game going to be touted on CBS with Tony Romo glazing like crazy. But Chiefs versus Bills, week 9, 4:25 p.m. All right, number 5, I have the Bears versus Commanders, week 6, Monday Night Football. Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels. The Hail Mary, the Miracle at Maryland, wherever you want to call it. The Bears season broke after we had the Hail Mary play, so they want some revenge. So they're going to be coming back in the crib once again to take on the Washington Commanders. And the last time these two played, there was only 2 touchdowns scored, and it was all in the last minute of the fourth quarter. So, personally, as a Commander fan, I'm not expecting that no more because there were a lot of plays left in that game that we should have been up extremely much. But Ben Johnson is now the head coach of the Chicago Bears. They have greatly improved their offensive line. So has Commanders. They have improved the weaponry. So has Commanders. So it's going to see who is going to take it round 2 of this round. You got the Bears versus Commanders week 6 on Monday Night Football. Number 4, you have the Bills versus the Bengals. Josh Allen versus Joe Burrow, week 14 at 4:25 p.m. kickoff. I just love these matchups right here. The Bengals have a lot of questions on the defense, man, and we're going to see if it pans out, especially if they can find a way to pay Trey Henderson, although those are looking very unlikely. But the Bills taking on the Bengals, it's one of those top matchups that goes down to the wire. So you got week 14, 4:25 kickoff with the Bills versus the Bengals. Number 3, you have the Ravens versus Bills, week 1 at 8:20 p.m. kickoff. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens will try to get revenge against the Bills in the AFC divisional round loss that they had by the smear drop of Mark Andrews dropping the 2-point conversion that had a shot to keep the game alive to take it into overtime. So obviously, You got the two-time MVP against the defending MVP. I don't even know if that's a real thing to say, but yeah, the defending MVP in Josh Allen. Um, Coming week one of the season with a crazy slate of matchups in week one. All right, number two, I have the Commanders and the Eagles, week 16 and week 18. Look, man, I've been talking about all off season with the Commanders and trying to catch up with Philadelphia. Um, this game right here, these two games, I would say the first matchup will be on a Saturday, and then you have the last game of the season. You're playing at Philadelphia. It's something about playing Philadelphia at Philadelphia that always get my blood flowing. Um, you know, going against a defending champion in your own division always bring intrigue. But the simple fact that we lost 23-55 against the Philadelphia Eagles, it's going to sting for a while. But you know, I believe in get backs. And at number two, this is my second most anticipated game, and it's number one in my heart as a fan. But if we're just talking about tons of matchups, this is a get back game, and Commanders, you get to see this twice a year. And like I said, to a lot of you people, man, if there's a game that I missed, just comment and let me know, and we will definitely highlight it. I might have to do another video, to be honest with you, just to showcase everybody that talked about it. But at number one, I have the Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles, 4:25 Eastern kickoff, week two of this year. The Eagles mollywopped the Chiefs the last time we saw these teams. If you don't think them guys are going to sit there and let that happen again, you're sadly mistaken. Kansas City, you're getting them at a time when your whole squad should be healthy, especially the wide receiver spot and offensive line. The Eagles may have lost a ton of people on the defense, but they always reload. You get these two playing again early in the season when the stakes are very high. Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, and there may I add, this game is at Arrowhead. This game is at Arrowhead. So buckle up, people. It's gonna be a good game. Good game indeed. Chiefs, Eagles on. I believe this game is on Fox. But yeah, man. All right, people, that's gonna do it for you. Those were my top 20 games of the 2025 season. Like I'm gonna keep saying it. If there is a game that I miss, please like, subscribe, but also comment and share a game that you feel like would should have been on the list, or a game that you feel like it's underrated to a lot of people. Because I just love football in general. Um, I felt like these games bring a lot of intrigue, although it was kind of quarterback heavy influence and some of it was playoff team heavy influence. But there are some games, other games that would probably intrigue me as well. Um, if y'all do get a chance, just let me know or message me. I'm gonna post it on social media the top 20 games I have, and do a poll like that, and then that way we can get the things rolling along. But look, that's all I got for y'all today, man. The top 20 games of the 2025 season. Y'all know what to do. Click like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time as we get ready for the summer. It might be slightly slow for me in the summertime, but you never know. You'll see. I'll still be there doing command time and definitely producing some more content. But I appreciate all the support, and I will see you guys next time.
If they ain't cooking, I don't want it.